did you order the whole meal?
What are you cooking?
I am cooking chicken for dinner this evening. Due to the fact that one of the guys that works with us, he's not a huge fan of beef, so because of his diet plans, and it's a holiday, we're trying not to break his chops too much. So we're gonna be nice and make chicken. Once.
For my guys and my gal, it's our holiday dinner.
Holiday dinner.
Firefighting extraordinaire. Oh, is that too thick? 1, 2, 3.
You don't like it thick, Al?
Not at all.
This kind of
deer rib? It's not a deer rib, it's a beef rib.
he said these.
Oh.
Joe, what are you trapping now? What are you gonna trap now?
Coyote.
Coyote.
No, don't taste just like chicken.
Delicious.
You want me to go get Kate's raw bar?
Is that a cabbage?
Mike, good job on the mushrooms.
Oh,
Mushrooms are fantastic.
Yeah, they are.
Everybody should have mushrooms.
Yeah.
Bigger the better.
You like big mushrooms, Joe?
I like the magic ones.
We'll try that.
Hey, Aaron, how's your chicken?
Excellent. Thank you.
Just like the prime rib.
Put your phone on my phone. I ain't finished eating. This is my plate, man. Share with.
Hey, buddy.
Yeah, suck on that bone. He sells the bread to eat there.
You know what I mean? Let me stay on my plate.
And he likes to suck on the bone.
Oh, that's a suck, period.
Yeah.
Whoa!
Yo, that's it, man.
Oh.
Chief,
He's
can
out.
you not send him down here again?
One more remark like that, he's sitting outside eating.
Well, we were gonna do our twice a year deep fried Oreos, but somebody went, and bought dessert on their own without thinking or asking the host chef. Yeah, you see that?
Wow.
Man,
It's pretty deep right there.
First of all, that's it. You hear me?
Right.
What they eating uptown?
Bolognese.
What's uptown having?
Chinese.
Pasta bolognese.
That's what happened.
We
Really?
just got the big food.
Oh yeah?
For a holiday meal?
Rob's cooking.
Oh, my mother's. Paste.
You gonna have a Polak making an Italian meal?
That pull-up is getting good.
You can eat anything though.
You're right.
Oh, that feels good. Yo, what?
Did he say my boo? I thought he said that.
No. Cap. I see that.
Wow.
You are really
You
wearing
ain't
out
talk
your
all damn dinner when you want to say wow.
You say move.
Yeah, that was weird.
You're wearing out your welcome here. Hell.
My boo.
I think it's funny. Cheap is what we find.
Yeah.
That camera got me. I can say a lot of things, but not when that camera's on.
There goes.
Nice.
I won't complete my 6-month probation.
Don't be mad
It's
at
only
me.
90 days, Tim.
I said, don't be mad at me.
I'm never mad at you. You're upset, I'm never mad.
I'm full.
What? Man.
You mad.
Oh. That's crazy.
And I got the smallest piece of meat.
And you still have the
Mind your business.
You know you have the smallest piece of meat.
Wow, now I was actually worried about barb finishing, but I should know better than that.
Barbecue.
So make me go in daddy mode.
Try it, man.
I'll send you right to bed.
left all the potatoes there.
Mind your business,
Potatoes
Barbo.
suck anyway.
But I'll tell you one thing I'm gonna eat.
Did you put milk in these potatoes, man?
Oh, still some bread down there. Son.
Mushroom.
The mushrooms are awesome. Yeah, they are. Everything's banging.
That's him.
And depending on where you are,
Yeah.
pepperoni is too.
Yeah, look at him. Salami.
Up near the center, fold it over.
Right, well,
Right around here.
Yeah, look, what's that piece?
corner there, Joe.
No.
Pick up.
Mashed potatoes and
My hand's right on it. I'll give you this one too.
Oh, no.
You may need it later.
You want this? No. Definitely not.
Yeah, you
There's
do.
a place in Bogart too. Oh,
Yeah.
where?
Come on.
You know that's right.
Man, you were dead on with the cabbage.
Chief, you want that?
Bacon and cabbage.
No, I'm good.
Ridiculous.
Thank you. So good.
Oh, it's so good.
You know, everybody says that. Cabbage, come on, cabbage.
Yeah.
Add bacon to it.
Yeah.
2 packs. We're up to 2 packs of bacon in town.
You can make anything taste.
That's true.
Peanut butter and bacon sandwich?
That sounds good to me.
Eat your pancakes for him?
No.
No, we did.
One holiday routine here, sir.
Oh, sorry.
Do a tail ham egg sandwiches.
Drippy egg sandwiches.
Oh, Reed's.
What'd you say? You said telling him?
Pork roll?
Hey, you hear that?
Tail and ham.
There it is.
There it is. Pork roll.
Not pork roll.
And they were Gap.
That's the Timmy McKay.
What does gap mean?
Good.
Hey everyone, welcome to PintheQ podcast, episode 7 here with Chris Freeman. Excited about this one.
Yeah, me too.
It was a fun ride to Passaic. So we were at Eastside Fire Headquarters,
Yep.
the City of Passaic. We'd stopped first
At the west side.
at the West Side Fires.
Yep.
Met the brothers over there. Good guys, a lot of fun. Tell us what happened there. Something happened in the hallway.
So one of the young firefighters there, Rob, we'll leave it at that.
Right.
He was. We have some nice pictures on the wall there in the hallway.
And what did he say to us?
Well, he said that there's the one picture there that hasn't been framed up
Right.
in quite a few years. So they were put in a nice frame today with some glass, and as he pointed to the picture and just lightly touched it, it fell to the ground and crashed and smashed all the glass on the ground.
Yeah.
You couldn't have planned that any better.
No, that was perfectly orchestrated. And what was more exciting was he said, well, I'll be right back. I'm going to get the broom.
Yeah, jumped right on it.
Oh, awesome. So, again, what's awesome here about Passaic and the city was the camaraderie.
Yeah.
I got here, had an awesome meal. Ridiculous.
Yeah, they do it pretty good here.
That
Tour
was-
4's got some of the best cooks going. So.
Yeah, so tour 4 at the East House.
Yep.
Right? So, Chris, why don't you tell everybody who you are and a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, sure. So Chris Freeman, I was just over 25 years with the City of Passaic, and honestly, Passaic, just fantastic place to be a firefighter. If you want to learn how to be a fireman, this is the place.
Right,
There's,
right.
as we discussed, there's different size departments in the state,
Right.
and just because of the dynamics here, you're gonna go to work no matter what. There's a good fire load, lot of runs, and you learn very quickly how to be a fireman. There's really no place to hide,
Yeah.
which is a great thing.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, you hear the brothers and they're.
Yeah, they're going at it in there.
That's awesome. So, so tell me how you got into this. Like, how did you become a firefighter?
Yeah, so I'm like that the storybook fireman. I grew up in it. It's family tradition for me.
Right.
I was that little kid running around the firehouse. So to take it back, my great-grandfather, he was on the job in Hackensack. My grandfather was chief in Hackensack.
Awesome.
My father did 30 years here in the City of Passaic. So I grew up with this. This is
And your
all I
father
ever did.
retired as a.
He was a chief here. and he
So you're
left.
fourth generation.
I'm fourth generation.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So this place means a lot to me.
Yeah.
You know, it really does. I take a lot of pride here.
Right.
You know, and like I said, this was my childhood growing up. So
Right.
it was great to be able to come here and get on the job here.
It's awesome to follow your family's footsteps.
Yeah.
I mean, it's you. So you knew very early on
Absolutely.
that this was it.
I've got all the pictures of, you know, as I'm a little kid and
Right.
in the fire trucks, and you know, I got all the fire gear and all that stuff. So
That's
this
awesome.
was it.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
So basically, you didn't have a choice. Is what you're telling me.
I didn't have a choice. It was ingrained in me very early. So
No, that's good.
you know, and it's not a bad thing at all.
No, definitely not. So what happened? You took the civil service test, I'm assuming, and
Yep, I got very lucky. I took the right civil service test at the right time, and so very young. I was 20 years old when I got hired here.
okay,
So I took the test, passed, waited a little bit, and when I got the call, I was, you know, ecstatic. It was the best thing. So I got hired in April of '93,
okay,
and started the academy. And I was the youngest kid in the class. You know, there was only 4 of us, but I was the youngest one there.
okay. So you're one of 4 in the academy.
One of 4 in the academy.
Okay,
So it was interesting, you know,
Right.
to get on that young. So I went through the academy here, and we used to run the academy right here in fire headquarters, and we did all our own training here, and it was amazing. It really was,
Right.
especially at that young age. You know, being able to come into this setting was great.
yeah.
You know?
So, wow. So 93.
Yeah.
It's changed a little bit since then, huh?
Oh, quite a bit. But it actually, we had to change very early in my career.
Right.
So once we got done with the academy and I got assigned to my first engine company, which is actually at the West Side, Engine 4,
Okay.
I was there for about a year and a half, and the state had offered up an early out bill for retirements.
Right.
Our department took a big hit with that. We lost about a third of our department in one fell swoop.
Oof.
So you were kind of forced to grow up very quickly.
Yeah.
So I went from being the junior guy on the job to, like, overnight there was 30 guys under me, which was
Wow.
crazy.
So you're still
Crazy.
learning the job yourself,
Yep.
and now you have to mentor these young kids
Now you
coming
got to
in.
mentor the young kids, yeah.
Yeah. So that's not an easy task.
Not by any means. And what was tough was when I started, there were so many, I won't say older, but seasoned guys here.
Right.
And a lot of them were war veterans. A lot of them were carpenters and, you know, in the trades and stuff.
Right.
And so to go from that, and they didn't let you get away with anything. I mean, as a young kid, you had to learn very quickly what your place was in the firehouse.
Right,
The
right.
chiefs at the time, the battalion chiefs, deputy chiefs, they really they made you learn not just the job, but what your role was in the firehouse, which was great. I mean, that was ingrained early in
important.
me. Absolutely.
So important.
And when you have a third of your department leave
Right.
so quickly, you lose a lot of that.
I was just I was thinking the same thing. How much experience did you lose?
Oh my God.
Like that.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's not something you can get overnight.
No, not by any means.
Right.
So it was a big adjustment because not only did you lose senior firemen, but you lost officers.
Right.
So you had a lot of guys moving up now to officer roles that were still learning their way.
Yeah, crafting your
You
trade.
know, so-
Yeah.
So the department itself went through a big change then.
Right.
You know, it was really kind of redefining itself. And that's how we went on from there. You know?
It's pretty cool. I mean, it changes a little bit in the culture, right? I mean,
Yeah, it does.
tell me a little bit about the culture here in Passaic.
So, first of all, Passaic, and I'm going to steal a phrase. Sorry, Ray. It's a unique city.
See, Ray, everyone's taking your lines, man.
So, but it is because Passaic itself, it's a very diverse city.
Right.
Every kind of cultural experience you could ever imagine is here in this city.
Right.
Just because of the makeup of the city itself. So, we see everything here, and good and bad.
Right.
You know, good and bad, but everything is here, and especially with the food. I mean,
Oh.
you say they eat here, but you know, everything here is just fantastic.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
But as far as the culture of the firehouse, you have to learn very quickly how to adapt to different cultures, because not everybody interacts the same way with
Right.
the fire department.
Yeah.
You know,
It's a melting pot.
And it takes the older guys to teach you, you know, how you're speaking to someone or how you're dealing with someone. Some
Right.
people, you know, you're not going to go up and shake their hand. Some people, you know, how you interact with them is very important.
Yeah.
You know, it's Chief Bruce Senior said, customer service. And
Yeah.
trying to learn the customers here can be very hard. You know?
Right. I mean, what you normally do with everyone might offend someone from a
Absolutely.
different culture, and you just don't realize it.
Absolutely.
Right, that's-
Absolutely. But being a melting pot itself, I mean, that's what makes Passaic so great, you know?
So tell me a little bit about the way Passaic operates as a company.
Yeah, sure. So the City of Passaic has 4 engine companies, 2 ladder companies, and a battalion chief as a tour commander.
Okay.
We run 4 different tours.
Okay.
There's roughly 22 to 24 guys assigned per tour. And, you know, that's basically what we have to go with. We're not a large department by any means, but we're not the smallest department. So
You're about how many firefighters?
we're,
Total.
we're hovering right about 100, I believe,
Okay.
right now. You know, give or take. I know they just hired 8 guys about 2 weeks ago.
Cool.
So that's great. You know, bringing
Yeah.
new blood to the department.
Right.
So, as far as the companies like that, because of them, how many we have, you're gonna go to work.
Yeah.
You're gonna go to work. Like,
Yeah.
you know, the way we operate, you get a structure fire, the companies are laying in from hydrants, trucks are going to work right away, and we rely heavily on mutual aid.
Right.
You know, to be very honest with you, we get mutual aid right away from Clifton, Patterson, Bergen County, the volunteer towns, Wallington, Garfield, Saddlebrook, Rutherford. They all work just seamlessly as they, you know, come into the town for fires. And,
And squared away departments too.
absolutely,
Yeah.
absolutely, top-notch departments.
Yeah, that's good.
You know?
So you get to meet and network with a lot of different firefighters from around,
Yeah, yeah.
and that's an interesting mix. Wouldn't you say the career volunteer combo?
Oh man. Yeah, actually, it's an interesting mix. And again, being a volunteer myself down south, but we'll talk about that in a bit. Trying to integrate that. There used to be a lot of animosity.
Right.
You know.
Glad to
And
see that's going away.
It is definitely going away.
Right.
And I tried real hard as I was coming up through the ranks to get the guys to realize. You know, it always used to be, oh, the volunteers. What's the problem with the volunteers? And it's just not the case. You know.
Right.
As I tried to explain to them, working a 24 and 72 schedule, right? I'm basically working 90 some odd days a year, right? I take that down. I don't count sick days, vacation days, none of that stuff.
Right.
And how many days am I here? So depending how many shifts your fire's catching, your company's catching, you're not really making all of those. But the
Right.
volunteers, they're coming in every single day, every single tour, taking in all the fires, taking in all the calls.
Right.
They got a tremendous amount of experience. The volunteers up here are extremely busy. They do a lot of fires, and they're very well trained.
Right.
You know, and I'd crawl down a hole with any one of them anytime.
That's
you know?
awesome.
And they're fantastic. Can't say enough good stuff about them.
And it's good that, like I said earlier, it's good that you're starting to see more and more of that buy-in.
Yeah.
You know, that the interdepartmental training and stuff. That's
Yeah.
good.
But like I said, a big part of it is large portion of our department, they volunteer in their own towns too.
Right.
You know, you're going to find when guys come in here, the training they've had before, it really steps up the game here. You know, it
Right.
forces guys that weren't volunteers, they want to learn more.
Yeah.
You know, I've seen over the last 10 years, the recruits that have come on, they just take more and more steps to educate themselves, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
you know?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
I know that, you know, obviously it's something we're going to talk about later, but I know that's something you're certainly involved in, was training. So
Yeah, absolutely.
that's good. So tell me about this piece behind you.
Ladder 2, yeah, our tiller.
It's your baby, right?
That's my baby. The tiller man is the best job in the fire department, no
Right.
matter what. I spent 9 years on this truck as a firefighter,
Okay.
and then I got promoted to lieutenant, and it was, I go be on the engine for a while.
Right.
And then I got lucky enough as lieutenant to come back here for 3 years, and it's a fantastic piece. You can get into a lot of tight spaces.
Right.
You can do a lot with this truck, and the tiller man has the best view in the world.
Yeah. What's it like up there?
It's definitely an experience because you're up there, and aside from, if you have a good driver, he'll pull you through anything.
Right.
And that's what it is. These guys, between the driver and the tiller man, there's no intercom systems
Oh, there's not.
in Passaic. No.
Oh, wow.
No. The spare tiller we have, it does have an intercom system, but
Okay.
this truck does not, and so it's all reliant on the beeps. If you need the guy to stop, you beep. If you need him to back up, you give him 3 beeps. And
No kidding.
yeah, so the trust
Wow,
has to be there between the driver and the tiller man.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, if the tiller man hits something, it's the driver's fault.
That's good to know.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was another thing when we came here. It was awesome. You gave me a tour of the city, so I got to see some of the way that this city's laid out.
Yeah.
And as soon as we walked in, the door here, you go, oh yeah, and by the way, we have 2 tillers here.
Yep.
So that was pretty cool. You showed me the other, the spare tiller.
Yeah.
And this your baby behind us. So
Yep.
that's pretty neat.
Yeah, and it's really, unfortunately, when truck 1, the town lot has to go out for service or something,
Right.
they'll put the second tiller in to see 2 tillers going around town.
Yeah, that's cool.
That's really cool. It is.
And see, I didn't realize after speaking to Ray in episode 5 from Harrison, and now you're saying the same thing. I didn't realize how much the tillerman got to do. I always just thought they drove the tiller. I didn't realize they actually got to do a lot more stuff.
Yeah, and and Passaic is, because of our makeup and because we have to be aggressive.
Right.
Again, we got a lot of tight buildings, big buildings, high occupancy load. We got to be aggressive. So
Explain that to me.
as far as what the makeup of the city,
the dynamic, the way you're talking about, you have to be aggressive right away. Explain it to me.
So Passaic, again, it's 3.5 square miles.
Okay.
On the books, we're about 75,000 people. There's definitely more than that.
Right.
So we're a very heavily populated urban area.
Okay.
Our buildings are right on top of each other.
It's exposures.
A lot of the time, our exposures are a foot, 2 foot.
Oh wow.
So we have to be aggressive. We have no choice but to be aggressive. We have to get in there. We have to put the fire out. We got to do our searches. So it really makes you step up your game.
Right.
So everybody has a role to play, and the tillerman, a lot of times when you have a short-staffed truck, really all you can do is initially when you first arrive is basically be a recon team. You know? If I can give the chief some good information from the fire floor, from the roof, and from the rear,
right,
that's going to help him make his decisions as far as where we're going. So when I was the officer on the ladder, my tillerman, his job was, you've got the rear of the building. You're the outside vent man.
Okay.
He'd go to the rear, he'd do his recon, see what he has. If he had to go to work, had to throw ladders, he'd do it. And if not, he came back around front and hooked up with the chauffeur, and that was their team. And I'd be inside doing search on the fire floor, and my partner was the engine officer because that's who the nozzle man was. That's just the way our makeup is.
Right.
So an engine officer is a great position because you're the nozzle man. You're putting out the fire.
That's definitely that's different.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
different. And that's why when you're saying you have to be more dynamic, I mean that's exactly what you're talking about, right? I mean it's
there's all these great training things on forcible entry and stuff like that, but at the end of the day, in a city like this, you're gonna be doing that yourself.
Right.
My engine officer, who is my partner, but he's stretching the line, getting water charged, so I'm forcing the door by myself.
Right.
So you really need to be up on your techniques. And the truck officers here,
and
the truck firefighters, they're real damn good at their job.
Awesome.
They get into a lot of places.
So you were saying that your engine's forward laying most of the time, right?
All the time. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So operations in the city of Passaic are, if we have a confirmed structure fire, engines approach from opposite directions. They'll grab a hydrant, and there they go.
Catch that. That's the third run.
And they lay right in towards the fire.
Right.
They'll leave room for the ladder. Ladder goes to the front of the building.
Right. So that's the third run that weve had since you've been here. Since we've been here, yeah. It's busy. It's a busy house.
It's a busy house, a busy department. I think right now they're on 4,700 runs.
4,700.
They'll easily break 5,000 and change by the end of the year. So that's a busy department.
Yeah, it's good. It always keeps things moving.
So that's why I say if you're gonna be a firefighter, Passaic's a great place to do that because you're gonna work.
This is a great recruiting video.
Yep.
You could this could be an easily recruiting video for the city.
Yeah.
All right. So again, I like that. I like the complexity of the city.
Yeah.
I think it makes for fun firefighting, and you have to learn quick.
You got to learn quick, and also Passaic's an old mill type of city. So we have everything from large industrial complexes to multiple dwellings, 4 and 5 story multi-dwellings, 22-story high-rises.
Wow.
So we have every type of building in the city.
Right.
And, it really makes you learn. I mean, I have friends that are firefighters in FDNY. Got the same buildings, same areas, same fires, but they're doing it with 6 guys on a rig.
Yeah.
And plenty of times they said to me, how do you do it?
And a squad, and a rescue, and a battalion chief, and
and you get it done.
Right,
you really just have to get it done.
That's awesome. So you earlier had mentioned to me that that you made lieutenant. So tell me about that.
Yeah, sure. So I did in 2004.
Okay.
2004, I got promoted to lieutenant. Got assigned to actually the training division as a brand new lieutenant.
Wow.
Did a short stint there, and then I came back out to engine company too.
Tell me what that was like being an officer on the engine.
Officer on the engine was fun. You know, again, because you're the nozzle man, you're getting it done. But the nice thing was at that time, Engine 2 was the mutual aid engine. So we weren't just doing fires here. We were going to Clifton. We were going to Patterson. We were going all over the place, and we were getting a lot of work. So it was a busy engine company, which was great. So my firefighters, they got a lot of experience really quickly, and they learned. They learned how to be good pump operators. Learned how to interact with other departments.
Right.
And a lot of those guys that worked for me, they're all officers now. They're lieutenants, captains, once battalion chiefs. So I mean, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Is it? Tell me what it's like to see that these guys and girls moving up.
It's a very proud feeling. It's almost like a proud father type of feeling.
Right.
I've actually had a couple guys call me up when they came out high in a promotional test. Hey, it's a proud papa type of feeling. It's damn straight. You know, damn straight.
Yeah, because you leave a legacy behind, and then the fact that they're calling you though, that means something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You've impacted them at some point in their career that they wanted to make sure you knew that they got promoted, and that's awesome.
Yeah.
You know, that's awesome.
Yeah.
You can't put a price tag on that.
No, you can't. You really can't. So I, like I said, I did about 10 years as an engine officer, and then all of a sudden a spot opened up, actually on this shift, Tour 4, Ladder 2, and I jumped at it.
Oh yeah.
I jumped at it. I said, yeah, give me a truck. Engine's great, but give me the truck back, because as a truck officer, you're in there, you're getting it all done.
Yeah.
Prior to the water, you know.
Right.
And just the dynamics of the job itself, because you're doing so much. Our ladder companies are set up as rescues for the most part.
Okay.
We do the extrications. We do all the any kind of technical stuff that has to be done. So there's really a lot more to do.
Right.
You know? And that was always my preference. I was always loved being on the truck.
Yeah.
You know?
I'm on the truck. It's a Quint, but I'm on the truck quite a bit, and I love it. You know, I love being able. And for me, I don't know. Obviously, it's not a tiller, but in the Quint where I work, you're able to do a lot with that truck.
Yeah.
You know, and which is nice for us because there's only 4 of us. You
Right.
know, well, really 3 because you got the chauffeur.
Yeah.
So 3 of us are always doing something quickly. You know, but that's good, man.
Yeah.
So tell me about your what's your best experience so far?
Oh, without a doubt. I was lucky enough to actually be able to work with my father.
No kidding.
When he was a captain, you know, I'd cover a couple shifts. We couldn't work on the same shift.
Okay.
Permanently assigned, but I would cover up on his shift for different guys.
Awesome.
So honestly, one of my best experiences.
Yeah.
He was a deputy chief at the time.
Okay.
And we changed shifts at 8 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
Deputy chief used to change at 7:30. So it was 97, 98. I was a firefighter. I was covering the shift before him.
Okay.
And about 7:30 in the morning before shift change, before instruction fire comes in. And the fire was not too far from the west side where we were. And they're talking about people jumping out the windows and all this stuff. So I'm on the tower ladder, and we come up the block, good column showing. You can see it's a good fire. As we turn the corner, 2.5-story frame, it's blowing out the front, person on the roof. Because there was a shift change, the 2 deputies, my father and the other covering deputy, got in the car together.
Right.
They pull up. I watch him jump out of the car, grab a contractor's ladder off the truck, throw it up to the roof, and pull this guy off the roof to safety. And I'm sitting there in awe, like, look at this. Like
that's awesome.
You know,
man.
this
You
was
got to
my
watch
hero
that.
growing up, and now I'm actually doing it with him side by side. That was awesome. That was awesome.
That's amazing, man.
It really is.
That gave me
really
chills.
Is. Yeah.
What an awesome story, dude.
It is.
Yeah, and then that's awesome.
Yeah, and I'll never forget that. And it was nice because the newspaper at the time, they'd come down, they did a little story about it, you know, because it was good. So I have that actually framed up in my house.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah, that'll always be with me. It's a great experience here.
That is really awesome, man. That's again, it's like I always say, and everybody makes fun of me when they watch the shows, but you can't put a price tag on it. You know, those are the kind of experiences that you live with forever.
Absolutely.
I mean, here it is, 2018. You're talking about it. So,
Absolutely. And don't get me wrong, there's a lot of great times here.
Right.
There really is. But being able to work with your father is just that's something. There was actually a video when used to be a photographer in town. There's actually a video after the fire, and it's got the two of us walking down the street together. And I always wanted to reach out to him and try and get that. I just can't. I don't think he has it anymore. But I
that's
remember
awesome.
seeing that. Yeah.
Well, if you're watching this, look for that video.
Ronnie, if you got that video, send it over, man.
Listen up, Ronnie. That's good. So, obviously, we all have good experiences. Tell me your worst experience, bro.
Yeah. Well, my worst experience is actually two experiences.
Okay.
Two terrible experiences that kind of both interact with each other. And first one was May 6th, 97.
Okay.
We lost 6 children in one shot right around the corner from this firehouse on Hamilton Avenue. We were in the firehouse. We didn't even know the fire was going on, and one of the newscopters was over, and we saw the building come up on the TV. It's like, wow, that looks familiar. And then one of our officers who was on the road just started calling out on the radio. We had a working fire. And we pulled up to the building. It was well involved in the first floor. The kids were up in the third floor rear. And guys made a tremendous effort to get to them. They were throwing ground ladders, trying to get up there every way they could. But just circumstances didn't work out. And I think I talked about the dominoes, right?
Yeah.
When something bad goes wrong, there's always one thing and then another thing and another thing. So I kind of refer to it as the dominoes start to fall. And that's what happened here. First hydrant was a dead hydrant. We had to delay notification because nobody had called right away. And the dominoes just started to fall. And,
right.
The guys made a hell of a try, and they got up there, and they got 4 of the kids out right away, but unfortunately they didn't make it. And, the last 2 we found a little bit later on, but it was rough.
Yeah.
But at that fire, the firefighter on the engine company, Al Tirado, he was the nozzle man. They happened to have 4 guys that day, so it wasn't the officer.
Right.
But the officer that was with him was right next to him. And they were in the door of the fire department, and they're trying to keep it back, and it was in the walls. It was going all over the place, balloon frame. And, circumstances ended up bad.
Right.
We all kind of took it pretty hard. You talk about PTSD and counseling, and there really wasn't.
No.
That wasn't there at the time.
No.
I'll be honest with you. When the fire was 6 o'clock at night, by 10 o'clock, they kind of just said, all right, guys, you're done for the day, go home.
Yeah.
That was it, So I can remember very clearly, we were here, and we were upstairs in the bunk room, and Al, myself, and a couple of the firefighters, and we're talking about the fire.
Right.
Just back and forth, and it hit him hard. Al was a mail carrier in town. He grew up in this town. He knew everybody here. He
Right.
could have been the mayor, So it hit him really hard, and he swore, never again. It's not going to go down like that again. So that was a rough call.
6 children. I mean, that's.
Yeah. That's tough. That's
Yeah.
a big gut punch.
Yeah, it really is.
And again, for me, I'm a young kid. I wasn't really exposed to that before. And,
Right.
We had fatalities, 1 here, 1 there, but 6 is like, wow.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, at first I didn't even realize. I can remember because I was the chauffeur on ladder 2, and me and my officer had gone up through the front of the building. The other guys were in the rear, and when everything was said and done, I can remember one of the police officers, Andy White, come up to me and says, "Bro, we lost 6." I said, "6 what? 6 what?" It was 6 kids. I was like, it was like, man, that's rough.
That's not, it's not supposed to happen.
Yeah.
So,
so like I said, it hit him pretty hard. It hit us all pretty hard.
Yeah.
But flash forward to May 9, 2001, and similar situation, but this time it's 8:30 at night.
Okay.
And reported structure fire down on Market Street, which is right around the corner from the firehouse, and reported kids trapped. And that night Al was working on ladder 2. And, we got there, did what we had to do, but the dominoes started to fall again. Between bad hydrants and hose getting caught up under doors, and just the dominoes were falling. It was getting worse and worse very quickly. And at the end of the day, Al did the primary search in the fire floor, and him and his partner were going to move up to the next floor, and Al got ahead of him. And unfortunately, he got cut off. There was a collapse of the floor in the rear apartment. He was trapped in the bedroom. He gave his mayday,
Right.
3 times. Unfortunately, our communications setup here was overwhelmed. Companies calling, coming to the scene. There was a lot going on. And, unfortunately, Al perished up there on the 3rd floor. And to this day, I'm thoroughly convinced that what had happened back in 97 was still with him that night. I mean, listen, when you got a report of people trapped, children trapped,
Right.
you're going to go get a job done.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
You're not thinking about what could happen to you.
But when you have that experience in the back of your head,
Right.
what kind of decisions are you making? You know, you just don't know. You don't know what could have happened, but unfortunately, we know it did happen.
Now,
You know,
you know, you're friends with Al, or one of your brothers. I mean, you think in his head he was thinking, "There's no way I'm leaving this building without these kids."
damn straight. There was no way he was going to leave that building without the kids.
Yeah.
So he was going to search everywhere. He was going to get the job done. He was going to give 1,000%, which is what he did.
Right.
He made the ultimate sacrifice for that. And at the end of the day, the children were found. They were out of the building prior to our arrival. They were across the street. Just bad circumstances all the way around.
Yeah.
You know, and that never left me. That was always with me in my head. Al was a great, fantastic guy. He was a Marine, served in the first Gulf War. Said he was a mail carrier in town.
Right,
Grew
right.
up in this city. He actually lived behind. When I lived in Clifton, he was the next block behind me. So I used to run into him all the time. Just a great guy. And then we worked in the same shift here, right up to about 2000.
Didn't he give you your first job?
And yep, working at the Clifton movie theater.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I was
So-
a manager, and it's funny because he impacted so many people as the manager of that movie theater.
Oh yeah.
There are so many people that walk around the streets today that remember what Al did for him.
Yeah.
You know, as a matter of fact, our mayor, Hector Laura, he tells a great story about when he went to the movies as a young teenage kid,
Right.
and maybe got into a little bit of trouble, and Al put him on the right path, and here he is today. You know, he's running the city.
That's
so he
awesome.
had such an impact on him.
And that's
You know?
literally when you actually had to go to the movies.
Yeah, you had
That's
to go
how
to the
you saw a
movies.
movie.
Yeah, there was no pulling it up on
No.
videos or
No.
you know,
was-
Blockbuster was not even a thing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, that was way back.
And
Yeah.
Al had children, right?
Yeah, I have 4 children, and again, just aside from the fact that it was Al, again, we had worked together. He had gotten hired off the same list as me right before me. I can remember the next night after it happened, myself and another firefighter were assigned to his house as liaisons, for whatever
Right.
they need.
Whatever they need, right?
And I can still to this day, that was, I can remember being outside the house and I can hear his daughter screaming, I want my daddy. And that never left me.
No.
That voice is always still right back here in the back of my head. And that was tough. That was tough. I really, it put me into a bad place for a long time. Very bad taste in my mouth.
Right.
And people that knew me here could see I was off. I was angry.
Yeah.
I was disgruntled. And I'm going to drop a name here, but a great fireman here, a great mentor, his name was John Lewis. He had said to me the one day, what are you doing? Why don't you come out to FDIC? Just come out there. I said, all right, yeah, I can do that. But, it was pricey at the time. I paid my own way. Got on my
Right.
pickup truck. I drove out to Indianapolis. And I can remember getting out there and took some great classes. But what hit me most was there was a firefighter, Jeff Shoup, from out there, from Cleveland, I believe. And he just sat there and just talked to me for like 4 hours straight. Nothing, not like counseling. Just
Right. Just talking.
brother to brother.
Like
just
we're doing
talking.
right
We
now.
had some beers, and some of the stuff he said to me really kind of like snapped me out of it for the most part. Really kind of strained me. I just took him sitting there talking to me for like 4 hours, and it really helped me a lot. And funny thing is, 2 years ago, I'm out at Harrisburg at the Fire Expo.
Right.
And there's a great bunch of brothers out there now that are doing this Art of Firemanship conference, hands-on training.
Cool.
So we're in the hotel, and all of a sudden he walks in. I hadn't seen him since I was out in Indy.
No
I
kidding.
said, Jeff Shoup, right? He goes, yep. I said, you have no idea how you saved my career. And he looks at me like, what? I said, I had come to you. We just lost Al Tirado, and I was in a bad place, and you just talked to me. You just talked to me for 4 hours, just brother to brother, and you changed my path in the fire service. And here I am, 23 years later at the time.
Wow.
And he's looking like, really? And it was definitely, he made a difference, man. Just
Isn't that what it's all about?
absolutely.
I mean, really, at the end of the day,
Yep.
it's not about the patch or the rig. It's all about that, man.
It is. It's all about the brotherhood.
Yeah.
Think about it. What other job can you go show up in a firehouse anywhere in the world?
Yeah.
And your family.
You know,
Yeah.
it was cool when we were inside having dinner. It was awesome, obviously, to be around the brothers and the sisters in there and just,
Yeah.
being at that table, being part of that, being
Yeah.
part of your family for the night. And I know it was special for you to come back tonight and be with them, and
Yeah, it really was.
it was good. But the one story your brother told in there about being hurt out in New York. And,
Oh yeah.
So, here he is in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, Joe. He gotta love this place. Gotta
That's awesome. Oh, that's amazing. So he got hurt, right? And then what happened?
So he's got a house up in New York State, and he was building a tree house for his kids.
Right,
And he was trying to get that last roof shingle on for the day.
right.
Fell out of the tree, landed on a pile of logs, broke his back.
Oof.
Basically crawled out of there. So he ended up in a hospital out in middle of nowhere in New York.
Right.
And one phone call was made, and next thing you know, there's brothers there.
That's
He'd
awesome.
never met them before. He didn't know them from anybody.
Right.
But they're there because one of their own was hurt.
And that's the awesome part about this brotherhood. The actual
Absolutely.
that is the brotherhood right
Absolutely.
there. You don't even know these guys, and they're showing up at your bedside like just to be there for you.
And think about it. I mean,
They don't even know you.
you saw that last year when that Dallas firefighter was killed in a helicopter crash in New York. Remember
Yes,
that?
yes.
And what happened? The FDNY gave him a firefighter send-off back to his home. How do you?
Goosebumps, man.
Absolutely.
And they were like that. They're there.
You know, not knocking like bank tellers or nothing, but
Right.
you can't like walk into a bank in, Indiana and you're gonna get that kind of treatment.
No,
Hey, what kind of money counter you use? No, it's
no, definitely not.
But you walk into a firehouse.
Right.
Hey, brother, where you from? And you start talking, and
Yeah.
that's a great thing.
Just coming in here, everyone in there was like, "Hey, brother, how you doing?" I mean,
Yeah.
it was all pounds and welcome,
Yeah.
and breaking my chops, which was awesome. That's when you know you like truly feel
Yeah.
welcome is when they start busting chops a little bit. So
And like everybody says, the kitchen is
Yeah.
the great equalizer.
It re-
There's no rank in the kitchen,
right,
except for the chief. But
Right.
like I said, the chief fires a shot. It's fair game, So the battalion chief here, he started
Yeah.
to fire a couple shots.
yeah, he was good. He was funny. He was funny. He made me laugh. He was a good guy. But again, I saw exactly what you're talking about. Everyone in there was all on the same level, all on the same level, which was cool.
Yeah, and that's the great thing about Passaic. I mean, it's
Right.
it's a bigger department, but they're tight. They are tight.
Right.
And especially shifts like this. This is a great house. It's a great shift in general, but this is a very tight house. A lot of
Yeah.
these guys have been together for a long time.
Right.
Before I came here and after I left, they've been here together for a long time, and it shows.
It's a second family.
Absolutely.
It's
Absolutely.
definitely a second family. So when you're speaking of Al and his children, his legacy wasn't left behind, right?
No, not by any means. His daughter, Angie, she's actually a lieutenant now with the City of Clifton,
Awesome.
next town over.
Oh, that's awesome.
Just a tremendous firefighter.
Right.
Has a great reputation as a firefighter. She's going to be a great officer. I see her going, very high in that department.
Awesome.
Which is great. And it was my understanding his son had taken the test too, one of his sons. So
Great.
see what happens with that. But yeah, that's a great thing. The name lives on, the tradition
Yeah.
lives on, and I'm sure he's looking down, so proud of her.
Yeah.
So proud of her, which is fantastic.
What was it like for you when you found out she was a firefighter?
When I heard she got hired,
Yeah.
it was a tremendous amount of pride.
Right.
You would have thought she was, your own daughter. Guys here went over there to support her when she got sworn
Oh,
in.
that's awesome.
Which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And she cut her own path over there, which is
Yeah.
a wonderful thing.
And how proud is he looking down, seeing his daughter? And to me, what strikes me, she lost her father doing this job,
Yeah.
and she's stepping right into it.
Absolutely.
It says a lot.
Absolutely.
That says a lot about what she thinks about what he was.
Yeah.
He was dad, but he was also hero.
Yeah. And when you listen to her talk, she no different than I was.
Right.
Her father used to take her to jobs, to buff the jobs.
Right,
see
right,
smoke column coming up. Hey, let's go take it in.
Yeah.
There's some great pictures of her as a young girl here at the firehouse.
That's cool.
Which was great. So
It must have been special for her too when she graduated and have the Passaic
absolutely.
firefighters there for her.
Yep.
I'm sure he was happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, so there was a big mural on the wall, which
Yeah.
I'll show
Yeah.
on the podcast. But that's a pretty cool mural.
It's a great mural.
Yeah.
Again, one of the members painted that shortly afterwards.
Cool.
And that goes along with the monuments. And
Right, the
stuff
monument
here.
out front. Right.
Yeah. So
That's good.
we remember them.
That's good.
We actually have all our recruits When they're in the academy every morning, they do push-ups, and they've got to sound off all 10 names of the line of duty deaths from the City of Passaic.
Awesome.
Going back to the beginning of the department, which makes it so they never forget,
Right,
which
right.
is so important.
Yeah.
10 push-ups doesn't sound like a lot, and then one for the job, but, it ingrains into the head how serious this job is,
Yeah.
what can happen.
Yeah, the danger is real. And,
Damn
you know,
straight.
it's not, you certainly can't be taken lightly.
No, not by any means. Not by any means.
So speaking of daughters,
Yep.
right? Tell me about what you're dealing with right now.
Sure. So my daughter, Caitlin,
Okay.
she came to me back in the spring and said, I think I want to be a firefighter too.
Cool.
So I'm a volunteer down in Lenoka Harbor in Ocean County,
Okay.
and we have a junior firefighter program. So I'd said to her, that's great, but I want you to understand the responsibilities. I want you to understand what goes into it, and really think about it.
Right.
Come back and ask me again. So she did. And a couple months later, she came back to me and she said, "No, I really want to do this." She had a friend that was doing it too.
Okay.
So she did. So we brought her down and got her signed up. So now my daughter Caitlin is one of our junior firefighters. She'll go to the academy in August. She'll be 18 in February.
Cool.
So that was big, but I made sure she understood. She's carrying on a lot. Yeah, number one, you're coming in as a 5th generation firefighter.
Yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
But more importantly, I wanted her to understand what she's representing now. It's not just her. You once you put on that shirt, that emblem, you're representing a lot.
Right.
So when she came into the firehouse, Lenoka Harbor has a watch desk with a journal on there. We still keep a journal of all our runs, and the book goes back to June of 1950.
Wow.
So every member that's gone to calls is in that book. We made her understand, you're now going to be in this book. You'll be part of the history of this department.
Right.
So how you carry yourself and what you do is so important.
Yeah.
You want people to look at that book and see, Kay Freeman was on a call. What are they going to say about you?
Yeah.
I'd taken a class years ago with Bobby Morris on forcible entry, and one of his big things he told you is your reputation is everything in this job.
Oh, 100%.
Everything. It takes
100%.
years and years to build a good reputation and seconds to tear it down.
I was just going to say that.
So what is your reputation going to be here? You
Right.
need to understand that. And then I made sure she understood seniority and the history of our department.
Good.
That
Good.
the older guys, the senior guys,
Right.
they may not be doing everything you're doing. As a new firefighter, as a junior, as a recruit, there's so much more you have to do than they do. But guess what? They've done it already.
Mm-hmm.
They've been there. They've done that.
Right.
They get your utmost respect no matter what. You could hear other guys arguing in the firehouse, talking bad about. They get your utmost respect because they've been there, they've done that, and they could teach you so much.
Yeah.
So they get your utmost respect.
That's
no matter
it's
what.
good. That's good.
Yeah.
So she's been training with you, right?
Yeah. So since August, she's been training with us.
What was it like for you to see her in gear for the first time?
It was a little strange at first,
Right.
because the gear's a little big on her.
Right.
But we'd actually taken in our first call together.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. We had gone to a smoke in the building, and she was in the back. And by us, the juniors are allowed to get on the rigs.
Right.
Can't take a seat for a regular firefighter, but if there's a space they can get on, and they
Okay.
got to stay with the chauffeur.
Right.
They stay there to stay out of danger. So we'd taken in the call and everything, and when we got back, the guy that was driving, Jeff, goes, "Hold on a second, you guys got to get in front of the rig." Took a nice picture of
Yeah.
us right in front of the rig of our first call together,
That's awesome.
which was great. And
Did that bring you back?
it did.
Yeah.
It really did.
Yeah.
And I'm super proud of her. I really am. I know everybody in my family is.
Yeah.
And I hope I wish her a long and healthy and safe career.
Yeah.
Volunteer, paid career, whatever it is.
Well, she has
nothing but the best.
big shoes to fill, and not just because you're tall and huge, but because of who you are and your reputation you have. I will say this: when I announced your podcast and you were coming on, I can't tell you how many people called me, texted me, sent me messages. Great guest, outstanding job. Couldn't pick a better person. And I agree.
Appreciate that.
And it's good that people say that. And again, you said your reputation is all you have, and it's true.
Mm-hmm.
I 100% believe that. But I saw it here. When we came here, and when they saw you, and their eyes lit up, they were happy to see you. Nothing but hugs and happiness. I mean,
Right.
that can't be faked.
No.
You know what I mean? You can smile, hey, how you doing, bro? But I can tell when it's genuine, and everybody in there was happy to see it. I mean, the first thing they did was grab the PA and make an announcement, that you were here in the
Right.
building, in the house. So
Yeah, like I said, this was a great house to be in. It really was. And I think I'd mentioned this to you, but promotion to captain, it was nice.
Right.
Came with some challenges. Definitely not worth. It wasn't worth the pay increase. If I could do it all over again, I would have stayed a lieutenant, ladder 2, tour 4.
yeah,
No doubt about it. No doubt about it. It was probably one of my best assignments,
right.
without hesitation. And that was just because of the dynamic of the house. You know,
Yeah.
it was.
It's awesome here.
It's very hard to take 12 people, put them together in this type of situation, and have everybody just mesh together perfectly.
Yeah,
Everybody here got it. Everybody
Right.
here loved the job. Like I said to you, this is the type of place where if something had to be done, the whole house jumped on it.
yeah,
Hey, look, that paint's fading on the door over there. Let's paint it. No, they didn't just paint that. They sanded every door, painted every door, painted
Yeah.
red stripes around the firehouse, whatever it was. Tools had to be fixed.
right.
They were on it in a heartbeat. And that pride and that dedication comes through. And it's tough to get that whole buy-in from a whole house. Because there's so many
Oh, yeah.
personalities.
Yeah,
It takes one personality to kind of throw a house off.
right.
Not here. This house just had everything going for it, which
Yeah.
is great. you
And
know?
that's an outstanding testament to the house itself and the culture of this department.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's good stuff. You can't
Yeah.
both stick at that, can you? That's good
No.
stuff. I mean, I've seen young guys, probies, they complain just taking the garbage out to the curb
Yeah.
10 feet.
Yep.
But here they're sanding down doors and painting doors. That says a lot.
But that comes back to the senior guys in the house.
Right.
When we get a new firefighter in this house, when we got one on tour 4, they didn't let them get away with anything. It was
Good.
much like when I came on with my older guys. It was, you're gonna do it this way, and it got done.
That's
You know?
awesome.
That doesn't happen I can't say that happens everywhere. There's some
Yeah.
places where that lacks a little bit.
Right.
But here, no, it gets done. The senior guys really step up. Guys like Alvin, who's the senior man in the house.
Yeah.
He runs a tight ship. He really does.
That's good.
He has a lot of fun. He cooks great.
Yeah.
But
Oh, the
the
food
guys
was
here,
ridiculous.
they keep it tight here, which is great.
It was the grill master.
Yeah.
He says, "You like cabbage?" I said, "No, I hate cabbage." He's like, "Oh, you'll like my cabbage. It's got bacon in it." I'm like, well, if it's got bacon in it,
It's got to be good.
it's got to be good. I mean,
Yep.
you can't turn anything down with. So I had my vegetable and my bacon,
Yeah, you're all set.
and they're like, you gonna eat more? I'm like, I was full, bro. I could not take another bite.
Yep.
It was awesome.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
That's like a secret, isn't it?
It is. It really is.
It should get out. Can I tell everyone about their secret? I mean, because that
Go
food
ahead, do
was
it, man. Lay it out there.
No, I can't do that, Tell me. I gotta keep it.
But this is one of the things, as I'm leaning on my next adventure now.
Right.
It's one of the things I really miss is that firehouse meal is
Right.
and it's not just the food. It's
Right.
it's the camaraderie. Like
Just
you saw,
being there.
Just prepping the meal. Everybody, busting chops.
Yeah.
That and the great firehouse coffee.
Oh yeah.
You can't beat the coffee on a shift.
Wow.
That's a tour 4 secret recipe.
Yeah, I won't say what you told me is in it. It's not alcohol, just so everybody knows, but
Nope.
it is delicious.
Yeah.
That's the best cup of coffee I've ever had, and I'm not just saying that. It really, really is
Yeah.
good. It's awesome. So now that you're moving on and you're no longer here, what are you going to be doing with yourself?
Oh, quite a bit.
Okay.
Quite a bit. So, like I said, I am a volunteer still down in Ocean County, Lenoka Harbor, Station
Right.
61.
So lucky to have you.
Thanks. I'm very involved there.
Good.
Great bunch of guys. And it's not the busiest house,
Right.
but it's young guys that really want to do the job. A lot of good training going on.
Good.
And they know their stuff. They really know their stuff. And I'm real proud to be involved with 61.
Right.
It's a great thing. I had been a firefighter before at Forked River at 60, and it was a busy house, doing a lot of fast team stuff
Right.
and stuff like
Yeah.
that. But this is just it's a great fit. And much like here, the family side of it really hooked me. I had nothing to do with the volunteers until I moved down south.
Okay.
So 2008.
Okay.
And once I got in and I saw the family dynamic of it, I was hooked.
Yeah.
I was hooked because there's so much pride in the house.
Yeah.
When you're someplace where your father's been, your brother's been, whatever it is, that's big.
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
big. So
Yeah.
it got me hooked. So I'll be spending a lot of time with them. Doing
Good.
a lot. I work part-time in Stafford Township
Yes.
as a fire inspector.
Yes.
Which is great. You know, I'm very lucky. My boss down there, Heidi, she runs
Heidi.
a real good ship.
You know
down
she's
there.
mad at us.
I know she's mad. Yep. Something to do with the tiller,
Yeah.
you know.
She threatened me before I got here. She says, if I see any picture of you and a tiller, I'm never talking to you or Chris again.
Yep.
You're not serious, are you, Heidi?
So that's a great place. Stafford Township is a terrific place to work for.
Yeah.
It's a rapidly changing town. It's really growing quickly.
Right.
But the fire department there is top notch. So the Fire Prevention Bureau, we do a lot. But during a day, if there's a fire or something like that, I have gear. I'll get involved down there, and the firefighters there, they get off the rig every single time.
Right.
All their gear, all the tools, and they know their job, and they get it done quick. And there's a lot there
Yeah.
between
Oh,
the commercial occupancies, the big box stores,
Yeah.
the residential's coming in, now all these multi-story townhouses and stuff. There's a lot there. So
I know I already said this in episode with Heidi, but it's a busy house.
it is. I think
Man, it's a busy house.
they'll probably break 700
Oh,
this
easily.
year.
We'll easily do 700.
You know, and they're not BS calls. They're
No.
a lot of fire.
We've seen work, yeah.
A lot of
Yeah, we
accidents.
go to work.
Fast team calls.
Yep.
You know, Ocean County itself is a very dynamic place because
It really is.
you're talking like, I think 900 and something square miles, and you can run the gamut there.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, not just wildfires,
Yep.
not just waterfront, stuff. They have everything in that county, and just because of the way the county is set up with their dispatch center, the
Right.
coordinators, you do a lot. You go to a lot of different places. The resources are great. You know, quick plug. I mean, Brian Gabriel and his coordinators do a
Oh, yeah.
great job of moving resources around. It's terrific.
Yeah,
That
absolutely.
in combination with the dispatch center, Ocean County Communications, it's a terrific setup.
Yeah.
So I'm very lucky. I'm very proud to be a part of that. So that'll keep me busy for a while, hopefully.
Good.
And then, because I have a little bit of free time, I also teach at Passaic County Fire Academy.
Awesome.
They're run through the county college, so
Okay.
I'll work with them. We do the career daytime classes there.
Right.
I used to teach at Ocean County Academy.
Right.
They've had a little bit of change there. It used to be an all-volunteer instructors.
Okay.
About 3 years ago, we were able to get that over to paid instructors. So instead of volunteering, and I didn't want to jump on a paid job
Right.
for one of the other guys, I didn't even apply for one of the paid positions there. But I'll help out when they ask.
Yeah.
I got no problem with that. It's a great academy. You see a lot there.
Yeah.
So that's good. And then I also work for a company on the side doing some training. Great bunch of brothers, and we travel all over the country. Fireground Technologies.
Fireground Technologies.
Yep.
Okay.
We do a lot of firefighter safety and survival stuff, any kind of fire training. but
Bailout training.
Focused mainly on bailout training,
Cool.
and we'll go all over the country and train. That's awesome. Being able to work with brothers from all over the country.
That's awesome.
Brothers and sisters.
That-
wow.
That's what I love about this show. Getting to meet new people. I mean, like I met you, and the brothers in there and the sister. It's awesome. You get to meet new people all the time, and that's what I like about this.
Like I said to you, it's same circus, different clowns,
Yeah.
right? Like I said, we just came back from a department out in Rhode Island,
Right.
in East Greenwich. I sat down for a cup of coffee in the morning. It's like I could have been here at this kitchen table. It's
Right.
the same conversations. It's
Yeah.
the same stuff, and that's what's great about this job.
Right.
It's the same wherever you go.
When we drove up together, which was a good ride. And at least you got someone
Yeah.
to talk to the whole way.
And the smell from
Yeah,
North
and
Jersey,
the smell from North Jersey. I'm not gonna lie, I thought you farted,
Right.
and then I realized we were in
where we were.
where we were.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's not him. Because I was gonna tell you, if you did, you need to get a colonoscopy done immediately. But you had mentioned to me that training for you was your outlet.
Yeah.
Right? Explain that
Yeah.
to me.
Sure. So after Al had died,
Right.
I said I was in a bad place, but John Lewis, again, who was like my mentor, he was a big instructor. He does a lot of teaching all over the country. And I had been involved with training prior to that. The training officers here always kind of got me involved with the recruit classes.
Right.
But I just kind of, I found that was my passion. That was my release. If I'm able to pass on anything, that's, if I'm helping one firefighter, that's a huge thing.
Absolutely.
And I came to find that the more I taught and the more I was working with other people, it kind of helped because, like I said to you, the monuments are great. the stones and all that stuff. But if you want to actually honor somebody that dies in line of duty, you got to do everything you can so that doesn't happen again.
Right.
It doesn't just have to be in your department, wherever it is. If I can share one thing from that fire with somebody else and it saves their life, well, you know what? Then I'm honoring it. I'm making sure it never happens again.
Right.
That's big. And then there's the pride side of it. I mean, I can remember being in Baltimore for Firehouse Expo, and just in the middle, you know, so don't really know anybody around there. And all of a sudden, a girl walks up to me. She goes, "Oh, Instructor Freeman." And the guys I'm with are looking like, "What the hell is it? You know, Instructor Freeman." She goes, "I just want to say thank you." I said, "What's that?" It's because of you and the guys at the Ocean County Fire Academy. I'm living my dream. I'm now a paid firefighter down in South Carolina.
Awesome.
It's like, wow.
That's awesome.
That's big. You know, that's big. And so I find between that and then, like I said, in Ocean County, we have a recruit classes. They have to do a line of duty death program. Ray Van Marder had started that.
Cool.
And it really makes the new people aware of what could happen.
Right.
Bad things happen to good people.
Right.
So they're assigned a line of duty death from New Jersey, and they got to do a presentation on it. You know, and they do a lot of research. They can't reach out to the families, but they got to do all their own research, and it really wakes them up to it. And he allows me to tell my story during that class.
Right.
Kind of drive home what had happened, and that's big for me. That's like my release between that and the training, and that was something big that Ray had hit on in his episode.
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you, it was tough for me to watch.
Okay.
Again, because that stuck with me for a long time. That voice is still there today. But he hit so many points. He was so on the mark with so many things, and that's my healing process is the training. And I take a lot of pride in that. You know.
I didn't know Ray Tramer from before the episode. I mean, he reached out to me and said that, hey, you know, I like what you're doing. I'm buying into what you're doing. I think it's important, and
Right.
you know, you have a platform. I want to come on and tell my story about losing my best friend.
Right.
So I think it was brave of him to come on and
Absolutely.
and talk about that and do that. But it's good to hear you say that impacted you, because
Yeah.
you know, I think a lot of people had to hear that.
They had to hear that, and they got to understand that it's okay to talk about that stuff.
Right,
It's okay to get it out there.
Right.
You know, listen, it's you hear about it on TV all the time, or when you watch videos about we're the tough guys. You know,
Right.
That's not the case, man.
No.
Listen, sometimes you got to just talk to somebody. Sometimes you gotta get tears in your eyes. You know,
Absolutely.
It has to be.
And you know, things might have been different for you if you didn't actually go out there and during FDIC and talk to him, right?
1,000%. You know, I'll be honest with you. I mean, when Al died, Caitlin was born in February. He died in May.
Oh wow.
You know, so after hearing his daughter scream like that, I wasn't sure I could come back here and do this. Thinking about leaving, you know, God forbid something happens. You know,
Right.
new baby at home.
Yeah.
It was tough. It really was.
Yeah,
You know, I'm
we're
not gonna lie to you.
both we're both fathers, so I mean,
Yeah.
you know, the last thing you want is your daughter to feel
Yeah.
that pain. You know.
Absolutely. And if John Lewis doesn't tell me, hey, take a ride out there.
Yeah.
If Jeff Shoup doesn't just sit down and have a beer with me, where am I today? Do I finish out 25 years, or am I,
Right.
you know, flipping pizza somewhere?
Yeah.
Not there's anything wrong with that, but
No,
you
I
know,
love pizza.
But yeah, me too. But you know, it made all the difference in the world. Just
Right.
having somebody listen to you makes all the difference in the world.
That's
you know?
awesome.
And I think it also shaped me here as an officer, because it gave me a different perspective on things. You know,
Right.
I'm not gonna lie to you. As a young firefighter, I was arrogant. I thought I knew it all up until that day.
Plus, you work for Passaic. How awesome is that?
It is awesome.
That's gonna
you know?
give you some arrogance.
Listen, it's a pride thing. I'm
Yeah,
telling you. Like I
absolutely.
said to you, when you go somewhere and the guys say, "Where do you work?" I say, "Oh, Passaic." "Oh, we just watched one of your videos for training." You're like, "You guys do some fires." So
Yeah.
it's a pride thing. The chest comes down a little. We're not the busiest department by any means.
Right,
We're
right.
fires. But we're not the slowest. So we see some good stuff. But
Yeah.
you know, I don't know. It just helped me shape me as an officer, because it gave me a different perspective on things. I took it a lot, very, very seriously.
Good.
You know, even when they came to me volunteer service, said, "Hey, you want to be an officer one day?" You got to understand. I can have fun with you. You know, we can train the whole thing, but I take being an officer very seriously, because these guys in the rig, I got to make sure they get home at night. I
It's
see
true.
what happens when it doesn't go right. You know.
You know, I'm telling you that front seat comes with a hell of a lot of responsibility.
God.
It's, you know, and it frustrates me at times to see people get in that seat, you know, because they want to get in the seat
Yeah.
and they want to talk on the radio. But Jesus Christ, there's a lot that goes in with that, the responsibility in that seat. You
And
know,
it's
you're literally responsible for all the lives in that engine, in that
And
truck.
it's not just from the second the tones go off,
Right.
and you get in that rig.
Yep.
It's what are you doing here to make sure your guys are ready to go?
Right.
You know, you can come in here and you can go through 24 hours and, you know, maybe you do a little drill, you do this, but how you motivate your guys and how you keep them interested in the job and what you're training on, how is it relevant?
Right.
Really trying to balance all that, knowing your guys and the guys that you're working with on the engine. It's a dynamic situation, and you have to get it. You have to get it right. And
Yeah.
It's very easy to go wrong as an officer.
Oh.
If you're
Absolutely.
too arrogant, it can bite you in the ass very quickly.
Yeah.
You know.
Absolutely.
So
Now that you're retired, what are you going to do with yourself? You're going to do some training? You're going to continue to work for the company to train? And
I'm going to continue to work for the company. You
Okay.
know, do some training. I'll stay busy up here at the Passaic County Fire Academy. You know, whenever they need me. But really, it's just going to be whatever I can. You know.
yeah, it's awesome. Isn't that great?
I love the fire service. I'll be honest with you.
I can tell.
It was time to retire.
Right.
But I love the job. I'm still able to do the job.
Right.
So I'm very lucky to be involved down in Ocean County and still get on the big red truck and
Yeah.
you know still do
Well,
the
you
job.
have a lot to offer. You do, and you're a humble guy, so I know you're not going to talk about that. But again, I do think that they're very fortunate to have you, and they'll take advantage of your training and they'll take advantage of your experience. It's only going to help everyone.
I hope so.
Especially young guys coming in. So again, the whole reason for the show, all you young firefighters just getting onto the job or graduating the academy, talk to these guys. Talk to the senior guys. You know, use them as a resource. You know, I try to tell these young kids all the time, instead of sitting on your ass at the firehouse, start asking questions.
Yeah.
Talk to the senior guys. You know, pick their brain. 9 times out of 10, they want to tell stories. They want to talk about the job.
Yep. Absolutely.
You know, I feel, with 27 years on myself, I feel like it's our responsibility
Yes.
to teach, to motivate, to mentor.
Right. I mean, if you go out and you have all this knowledge and you just you retire or you stop going on the volunteer side
Right.
and you take it with you, what are you doing? I mean,
Yeah.
you know, it's your job, it's your responsibility. You have to pass it on. And
Yeah.
you know, I would tell the newest person to never stop learning, never stop taking classes.
Right.
You know, I've started when I was in the academy, and I haven't stopped since.
It's awesome.
You know, here I am retired. I still go to classes. I
Yeah.
still want to learn.
Never,
You know?
never too old to learn.
Never too old to learn.
So, Cap, I appreciate you coming on to the show.
Yeah.
It certainly meant a lot to me, and
I'm a big fan. I mean, I really thank you. I got to tell you though, Chris Aldrich and Heidi, they did give me $20 to kind of turn this around on you. And, so tell me, Frank, why'd you want to get into the fire service?
yeah. It's funny. It's funny. Although I'm on camera and it's a video show, it's not about me. It's about my guests and it's about the fire service.
Yeah.
But I will tell you that I too come from a family of firefighters. So for me, it was a no-brainer.
Yeah.
My 4 cousins are all firefighters.
Right.
In Middlesex County, my uncle's I have 2 uncles that are firefighters, and so it was in my blood. So as a young kid, in my 6-7 years old,
Right.
watching my cousins or my uncles leave, go to fires, go into the firehouse, I knew right away. My grandfather was a firefighter,
Right.
so I knew right away it was what I was going to do.
Yeah.
So at age 14, I joined and haven't looked back.
That's fantastic, isn't it?
Haven't looked back, and I'm old now. I'm not going to say old I am, but I'm old.
And listen, man, brother, you're doing such a great thing with this podcast.
Thank you, man.
Really love the message. Big
Cool.
fan of it, and just keep it going. Man. I see great things coming for you from this podcast. So,
Thanks, bro.
you know.
I mean, having you say that to me, guys I respect, it means all the world to me. I mean, a million people can tell me, on Facebook or whatever that, but when people say it and they mean it, it means a lot. Especially respected guys like you, because you're well respected within the culture, and this industry. If it's bullshit, you're gonna get called.
Oh, they're gonna call you on it right
Yeah.
away.
So
And what's it come back to? Reputation. right?
absolutely, it's all you have.
That's it.
So now, because I have an awesome sponsor, which I'll mention again, because I can't say enough about this guy, Sal. If you're watching, buddy, I know you are. Eagle Emblems and Graphics. This guy, he doesn't know me.
Right.
You know what I mean? And he started watching the show, and he bought in, and he told me just what you said. That he loves what I'm doing, and he says it's important to fire service, and he wants to be part of it. So what he did was he made these awesome patches.
Oh,
I mean,
good job, Sal.
the quality on it. When I first got these, you know, and I looked at the quality, you can actually see the reflection off the Q on
That's
this.
excellent. Yeah, that's great work.
So that's for you, man.
Great. Thank you.
Yeah, I want you to have that. And again, you know, I can't thank you enough for coming on the show,
Yeah,
brother.
my pleasure.
It means a lot, man. You
My
know.
pleasure. Thanks.
And then we got to see the trucks leave. That was pretty cool too.
Yeah.
So,
Got to see the till go in and out.
yeah. So here it is, episode 7 at PintheQ podcast. Glad you stuck in with us. Just about an hour, but good thing is we got some video from the kitchen. That's going to be this is the very first episode where we filmed a meal in the kitchen.
That should be good.
It's going to be fun. It's going to be fun. And again, I know everyone was going to say everything they normally say because there's a video camera watching, but they were good sports and they let us film. So I'm excited to get that in that.
And I got to get my last word in.
Yes, go ahead.
Listen, everything that we talked about today, everything that's here, it's only possible because of my wife and my daughters. So
that's awesome.
Sharice, Caitlin, Brianna, thank you. Thank you for letting me do what I love.
Right.
Because they put up a lot, they sacrifice a lot. And a lot of times we don't realize that. The families give up a lot for this. So
absolutely.
Thank you to them.
I'm glad you said that because that's a really good point.
Yeah.
Thanks for saying that. So again, episode 7 here at PintheQ. Again, we have Instagram, Facebook, which the Facebook page is doing pretty good. I'm liking that. And then, of course, this YouTube channel. Do me a favor, hit that red button that says subscribe because you got to hit that button. Once you subscribe, every time a new video comes out, you'll get notified. All right, PintheQ, episode 7. Take care. Be safe. God bless.